All right. Oh God, I just rushed home from the gym. I was squeezing in time. Serious Selling Bodybuilding. Hopefully, Lee Priest will be joining us shortly. He is having some problems with his internet connection out there in Australia, but he should be with us in a few minutes. Anyway, you guys like this? You guys like this shirt? I know I have the basketball jerseys coming in. Mine didn't come in yet, but this one did come in. Okay, it's a hoodie. It's a hoodie sleeveless shirt. I think it's pretty cool. It's one of those non-sweat, what do they call them? Non-sticky material. The only problem is, I hate, they're expensive. That's the only fucking problem is that they're expensive. You know what I mean? Thank you, John. Like t-shirts, regular t-shirts aren't that expensive, but once you get into shit like this and the basketball jerseys, they get expensive. This stupid hoodie is going to be about $50 if anybody wants it. And again, I know I'm trying to be a capitalist, but I got a heart. I know people have a hard time with money these days. So, but it is what it is. You don't have to buy one if you don't want to, but I'd like you to. If you want to buy one, it's $50. So you can email me, UncleJohn1201 at Gmail, John_Livia Yahoo, and of course Instagram, Serious and Silliness. And we'll go from there. So I'm having my protein shake. Just came from the gym. I did chest day. I was supposed to do legs, but I said, fuck it. I skipped legs and doing chest. Anyway. All right. We're waiting for, still on the phone with the Asian Chinese trying to, okay. So no worries, Lee. Take your time. Okay. So right now it's just right now it's just me. So okay, the basketball jerseys, right? Okay, the basketball jerseys. I'm still waiting for mine to come in, okay? Because these are made to order, like special made. This isn't like, order me a T-shirt. It comes from Amazon. It's from a specific company. And they're custom made. So I got mine in a black and red basketball jersey. My last name on the back, the number 4, and Serious and Silliness on the front. And then it has my logo like on, I think the right shoulder, left shoulder. I'm not sure. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. So when it does come in, obviously I'll wear it and I'll showcase it and whatnot. And then you guys could order one for yourselves. And it is made to order. So it will be custom. You put your last name on the back. You pick your number. I picked 4 because that was my father's birthday. My father's birthday was October 4th. You pick the color. You pick the design. You literally can get them in any color. And if you don't like basketball jerseys, you can get a football jersey, you can get a baseball jersey. So I just picked basketball because I figured it's the gym. Summertime's coming, show off the guns a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And that's about it. Now, if you guys have not seen the Mel Chancey interview, I really think you should go watch it. He got into the Hells Angels a very little. I think I said it last time. He really couldn't get into the Hells Angels much because he's under contract with a company, I believe with the Rock's company, $7 production studio, because they're doing a movie about his life. If you don't know, Mel Chancey was the former head of the Hells Angels in Chicago. And he got into, back in the 90s, he got into a war with the Outlaws. The Outlaws are another 1% motorcycle club. And they, especially back then in the 90s, it was no joke. See, the problem was, we didn't talk about this. I just know a little bit of the history. The problem was the Outlaws were always the dominant club in the Midwest. And the Angels wanted to move into that territory. The Angels were always mostly on the West Coast, and they were out on the East Coast a little bit, but mostly on the West Coast. Obviously, they were on the East Coast in New York. Everybody knows they had the famous clubhouse on 3rd Street they sold recently, and now I believe the clubhouse is in the Bronx. And what happened was, a lot of times, instead of sending new recruits out there, the larger clubs approach smaller clubs and they say, how about you patch over? You're no longer so-and-so, you are now part of this big club. So Mel Chancey was part of what was referred to as the Hell's Henchmen. And the Hells Angels came out there and said, how about we patch over? And you become the Hells Angels, because we want to establish dominance in the Midwest. And they did that. And Mel Chancey became the president of the Chicago chapter. The Outlaws didn't like it that much, and they went to war. Literally went to war. Shootings, firebombings, beatings, stabbings. It was really, really bad. He didn't go into it that much. But what we did go into was his bodybuilding journey, because Mel Chancey was an avid bodybuilding fan and bodybuilder. He was, if you look at old pics of Mel Chancey, he was a monster. I think he was almost 300 pounds. I think he said he got to over 290. And he was like 5'9" or 5'10". So he was a big boy. And he was tough as nails, man. He would throw down in a fucking heartbeat. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that during the war with the Outlaws, when he was going to the gym, he would have a few Angels come with him to the gym, just because he was the president of the club, just so he could work out and watch his back, because of the Outlaws were always, on the attack. It was a crazy story, but we weren't able to get into that. But today, he is an NPC promoter in Florida. He is a born-again Christian. He did lots of time in jail. He is a grandfather, a father, a husband. And I think he promotes 3 different NPC shows in Florida. Yeah, he lives in Florida now. And he did compete at one point. And I think he won like Mr. Chicago or something like that. But we talked about old school bodybuilders, and it was really, really a good interview. When the movie comes out, because I'm going to keep in touch with him. When the movie comes out and the documentary comes out and he's able to come on the podcast, then I'll do His Life Fits Better on the other channel, on the Outcast channel. I've had bikers on the other channel. So I had one Hell's Angel on there. Guy's name is Pee Wee. Pee Wee was like 6'8". He's like 400 pounds. And of course, they called him Pee Wee. He was the president of the new president of the Las Vegas chapter. Oh, shit. Lee Priest.
Hi.
How's the Wi-Fi by you, dude?
Shit. I'm on backup 4G at the moment, so if I disappear or I can't, looks like I can't hear, it's because I can't.
No problem, man. I got you. I just appreciate you coming on. I saw you went on live at on Instagram today, and I checked you out today, and I on Instagram you went live.
Oh yes, I saw you pop on there when I was
answering questions.
I was at McDonald's. Yes.
You at McDonald's, really? Let me tell you something. You looked very handsome.
Oh, McDonald's, mate. Look that way.
I think you're probably the most handsome boy in Australia.
Oh, that's not saying much, but thank you.
How you doing, man? Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you? I have not gotten a chance to watch that new Tom Hardy movie, and I'm a huge Tom Hardy fan. How was it? Yeah,
really good. Really good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I get this Starlink, right? Elon Musk, because I'm out in the country a bit, so I get the Starlink. I think it's working, but I'm like, gee, it keeps dropping out. But what it is, when the signal drops out, if it drops out, it puts you on backup 4G. Mm-hmm. But now I come to find out my router doesn't even have a power light come on. So I've been on the phone with, sounded like fucking Kim Wong Lu's fucking Chinese takeaway, because you never get an English speaking person. So trying to decipher what they're telling. That's the person I was just talking to. Lee, Walter, unplug it, plug in. Are you plugging in? And they talk to you like you're an idiot. Are you plugging it in? Do you have the power on? No, dickhead. I'm fucking rubbing sticks together, you fucking moron.
Miss Aria Priest, we need to fix your internet. Quickly.
So like, oh, we must have sent you a faulty router. I'm like, of course, out of all the routers in the fucking world, you got to send me the faulty one. If there was a contest where it said, we have 100 routers, whoever gets the faulty one wins $1 million, I wouldn't get it then, but I fucking get it any other time.
Yeah, you're right. Unbelievable, man. Oh, God. Anyway, today I thought we would talk about our biggest steroid cycles that we've ever done.
Because it sounded like R2D2 banging C3PO then for a second, so I don't know what you're saying.
There you go. Okay. I said today I said we could talk about our biggest steroid cycles that we've ever done. What do you think?
I got steroid cycles.
Yeah. the biggest steroid cycles.
Oh, the largest.
Yeah.
Largest and biggest steroid cycle from idiots on the internet saying they know what someone's taken. But me personally, I couldn't tell you what anyone's taken. I wouldn't know what someone took. I knew Paul Dillette took 1 mil Winstrol every third day and 4AU a growth daily when he lived with me. But apart from that, I couldn't tell you. That's all I've seen him take. So when people say they know these cycles and shit, I'm just like, fucking bullshit. I hung out with the pros, and here's me as a pro hanging out with pros. I never asked anyone their fucking cycle because it doesn't matter. That's why when I did that podcast with Ron Harris last week, saying this is the last time we're going to talk about it, because why everyone's obsessed with steroid cycles, it doesn't mean fucking anything if you know what people are taking, whether it's large or small. You're fucking morons. You got shit genetics. You don't train hard. You're fucking losers. Go play fucking golf and get the fuck out of the gym. You're taking up equipment, sitting on there with your phone because you cunts on your phone who take the large amounts look like shit watching fucking YouTube. Go do it in the car park, you motherfuckers. Thanks for that rant, John. Thank you. I need to get that off my chest.
Yeah, no problem. Why don't you just tell us how you really feel and stop beating around the bush?
I'm glad you asked. This is how I really feel. I go in the fucking gym and these motherfuckers that are taking fucking steroids, they probably shoot them up in the bathroom before they come out because they think they're going to work instantly. They're just taking their shots, sitting there scrolling, and their excuse is he takes more. That's why he's bigger. But I don't want to do that to my body because my body's a temple.
Yeah. I could look like that if I took steroids. Yeah, I'm sure. Of
course.
I'm sure.
If I took what you'll take, when you started training, I'd look just like you.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. It really is. Well, the biggest
if I was as short as you and I had little movements, I could lift heavy weights too because you've only got this far to push it because you're short. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's
so being short, 500 pound isn't 500 pound, huh?
Yeah. The largest steroid cycle I ever took was the last time I competed, and that was 2014. I did the Brooklyn Grand Prix, and I thought it was a lot. And I remember doing it and being like, "This is way too much," right?
Did you ask the largest cycle I took? Did you ask the largest cycle I took?
What'd you say?
Did you ask what was the largest cycle I took or what I knew?
No, I'm talking about what I'm doing, what I did.
But when you asked me, did you ask me what I heard or what I knew or what I actually used?
What you used, but that's okay. We can get into.
Well, my largest one I can tell you off by heart.
Okay.
Clenbuterol. I had tablets, so I think they were 5 milligram. I took 2 of them. One Cytomel, 25 milligrams. One Nolvadex tablet. Sustanon 250. I went up to 2 cc's or 2 milligrams a week. Winstrol 1 mil every 4th day, and 25 milligrams of Dianabol the first 6 weeks. But then I cut that out, and the last 4 or so weeks before the show, I used Anadrol, and that was it. Yeah. So add that up, fuckers. It's not even probably 1,500 a fucking month.
Yeah. All right, and this is what basically did. I mean, I stopped competing.
It cost me $1,380. I remember it. For my
you remember really?
San Francisco and Arnold. That was the most I ever spent. $1,380 on steroids.
I don't even remember how much I spent. But it was 2014. I did the Brooklyn Grand Prix, and I prepped for 12 weeks. And I wasn't going to do the Brooklyn Grand Prix. I was going to do a show later on, but I was ready, so I just jumped into Brooklyn Grand Prix, right? So
Mhm.
I started off with 750 milligrams of Sustanon a week, 600 milligrams of Deca, 4 units of GH, and then I had
Mhm.
kicked in 100 milligrams of Turinabol a day with the Deca and the Sus and the GH, and then I pulled the Deca. I kept the Turinabol in. I pulled the Deca and I replaced it with Tren. Like I think it was like 6 weeks out. Yeah, I believe it was 6 weeks out. So it was Tren acetate every other day. So I think I was doing 300 milligrams a week of that. I think it was 300 milligrams, right? I forget because it was every other day. So I think about 100 milligrams of acetate. If I'm right.
I got 2 days. Sometimes when I was taking the stanozol, if I was dieting 16 weeks, I might use that sometimes too. Sometimes I used it up to the 12-week mark, and then I cut it out because I hated doing the. It always seemed to like the stanozol being water-based. That's where I'd get the infections the most. I'll get that real wet red spot where it get inflamed. So I cut that out. And sometimes the last 4 weeks I'd switch over to Masteron instead of the Winstrol or stanozol.
Oh yeah. So then I remember I kicked in Masteron, Halotestin, clenbuterol. So a month out, I was doing Sus, GH, Turinabol, Tren, Masteron, Halotestin, I said Masteron, clenbuterol. I forget and then
So John, you're taking way more than me. So
yeah,
why don't you look like me, John?
Yeah, because I don't have your fucking genetics. That's it. That's right. So then I did the what do you call it? A diazod, half a diazod the day before, half a diazod.
I'll do that. I'll do diazod or aldactone. If my show was Saturday, I'd take like a half of one on Thursday, and if I looked okay Friday, I might do a quarter of a one Friday night or early, like 2 a.m. Friday morning, and that was it. I'd never go like some people go one on Wednesday, one on Thursday, and it's like they just pour too much water out and flatten out. So if you're looking good, only use a little bit because you don't need much. Like I've said before, you want to pour water from under the skin, not out of the muscle. You need a little bit of water so when you pump up, the muscles fill up.
Yeah, and I remember I had to drink a little bit of water because the diazod worked better with drinking some water. I mean, I cut my water back, but I continued to sip water every day. But then I remember going to see because I had won like 3 Masters overalls because I was by 35 by that point, and I went to go see Oscar Arden because he was in Brooklyn because he's a local guy. And then I went to go see Dan Horton, who was in Jersey, and they were coaches. And both of them, I lost Lee Priest. Anyway, both of them said to me that I was very conservative with the stuff, that I wasn't doing enough, and I should throw in some insulin. And that was like, I was like, oh God, guys, that is just a lot. I was already 35. I didn't even win. The last time I won an open was, I was a middleweight. I came in second twice in the light heavyweights and in the open, won Masters overalls. And then I just was like, I'm not doing this fucking shit anymore. And then plus the halotestin was really giving me fucking anxiety. It was fucking crazy. It was a terrible prep. And then I remember I went to go see Team Universe. And I don't remember if it was the year before or the year after. I can't really remember. And that was the year that John Meadows won the overall at Team Universe and turned pro. I remember looking at John Meadows and saying to myself, I'm never going to look like that. I don't care how much shit I use. Who trains me? I'm never going to look like that. It's impossible, no fucking way. Right? What's up, Musclehead? There's no fucking way I'm going to be able to look like that. Right? So that's when I remember I came home, I spoke to my wife, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. I mean, I did 4 shows. It cost a lot of money. I didn't have any sponsors. getting somebody good like Oscar Otto was going to cost a lot of money, and he wanted to train in his basement. You're back.
Yes, if it goes off again, I won't come back on because it'll ruin the show. This fucking
That's
sounds like R2D2 and C3PO banging each other. Like,
I just appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, I was just saying how Oscar Arden and Dan Horton were basically telling me, I gave him the list of stuff that I was doing for the last show that I did.
Is Oscar the one that used to train Kai back in the day?
Yes. Yeah. So I went to see him. He had a private gym in his Brooklyn, and I went to go see him, and both of them told me I was being very conservative with the stuff. And I was like, oh, this is just ridiculous. We lost Lee again. Hey, Lee, there you are. Did you hear me at all? I can jump on if you need, John. What's up, Lee? Long time no speak. Yeah, I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link, Xavier. Let's see. Let's send Xavier the link. There we go. We're sending Xavier the link. Xavier is going to save the day. All right. You got to unmute your mic. Cannot unmute your guest because they chose to mute themselves. Okay. Xavier, I sent you the link. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Let's see. Muscles Head says, would you have me on your show? I have information on Boston Lloyd and Jerry Ward cooperating with the feds. Hit me up on Instagram, Musclehead. Serious and Silliness on Instagram. And yes, there was another show. I didn't look at it. There was another show that they were talking about that. But yeah, just hit me up and we'll talk about it. So let's get rid of. Okay, yeah. All right. So John asked an actual good question. John, where is it, John? You asked what was the scariest thing that ever happened to me with steroids. So the scariest thing basically was I didn't know what I was doing. It was the first time I ever used. I never had, knock on wood, I never had like a real problem. Like, what did I get? A runny nose because my blood pressure was too high. I never realized how crooked my nose is. I think it's getting crookeder as I fucking get older. Jesus. I look like a MMA fighter when I do this. But anyway, I was using like 250 milligrams of test, and I was like 22, 21. I don't remember. And of course, my natural test level shut down, and Pepe wasn't working. I remember I was with this girl, and Pepe wasn't working. And it was just like, I was like, fuck, it scared the shit of me. I didn't know what happened. And then my friend of mine gave me Clomid, and it kicked on like that, but I didn't know what was happening. So that's as far as being the scariest thing. I remember this one time. This is actually pretty good. There was this one time I went to the hospital because I had kidney stones. And it was the summertime. And I remember I was taking Turinabol. I always got great results using Turinabol. Always, always, always. Okay. So if I ever used an oral, I either use D-Bol or Turinabol. I got the two best results with those orals. Okay. So I was using Turinabol. And I remember I go to the hospital because I had bad kidney stones. I was in so much pain. It was insane. I left work, went straight to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. Right. So the ER doctor comes in, takes my blood, all this crap, blah, blah, blah. They take all the shit. They tell me, look, you got kidney stones. They're not big enough for us to blast them. Gonna have to pass them, and I'm like, they gave me some kind of painkiller, and I wound up passing them. When the funny part is that when I passed them, I didn't even feel it. And then my doctor said sometimes that happens. It depends on the stone itself, it depends on the way it comes out. Sometimes it's extremely painful. Sometimes you don't feel it at all. It all depends. Whatever. Anyway, so the ER doctor comes in and she closes the curtain and she says, "Are you on any kind of performance enhancement drugs?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "Well, you know, your liver enzymes are really high. And, you know, it would really," and she gave me this whole lecture and about being on anabolics, so on and so forth. So now I call my doctor, right? I call my doctor because my doctor I've known for years. Great doctor. He's out in Staten Island. Dr. John Zaffaranolu. Fantastic doctor. Okay. He's a bodybuilder himself. So he knows exactly what to look for when he takes my blood and so on and so forth. So I tell him what happened. But, you know, I got nervous. So I stopped taking the Turinabol. And he goes, "Yeah, come on in a couple of weeks and we'll do blood work again." So I stopped taking Turinabol. I'll go see Dr. John in 2 weeks. I do the blood work. Day or two later, calls me back. And he goes, "Yeah, your liver enzymes are fine. Back to normal." So, I mean, we all know that anabolics are dangerous. But if you're just smart about it and you don't abuse it, you could see how immediately it came down. Immediately it came down, and I don't know, we're having some kind of dispute here. I don't know what's going on. Aaron Merritt, Musclehead, keep your husband's name out of your bullshit. He did not cooperate with the feds. I don't know. I don't know the story of what's going on with Boston Lloyd. I don't know the story about Jerry Ward. I did see that the people talked about it, but I don't know. So, Aaron, I'm not sure what's going on. So I do apologize. I hope my platform didn't offend you in any way. So I am really, really sorry. Okay. Let's see here. My favorite oral was during Pro Hormone Day. Oh my God. You remember those fucking things? What were they called? That's what's his name? Androstenedione Dion. Remember those fucking things? Oh, that was when Mark McGuire got caught when he said he was using that shit. Believe it or not, I never tried the pro hormone stuff, man, to be honest with you. John, do you pluck your eyebrows? That's probably a New York anything. Yes, Loho. I actually, well, the truth of the matter is they just never grew back. I used to wax my eyebrows. Look, man, I try to look sexy. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm getting old. I try to keep everything, nice. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I used to tan like in a tanning bed, and I stopped doing that. I just fucking never liked it. It was all gross and everything. But I don't do that. But I try to look my best. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know what's going on. Musclehead, Aaron, I went to prison. Jerry Ward. There's this whole discussion going on in the comment section about Jerry Ward and Boston Lloyd, and I'll find out exactly what's happening. I don't know the whole story, but it looks like there's a lot of controversy going on. So I will find out what's going on, and I apologize that I don't know what's happening because I really wish I did. But anyway, so anytime I used orals, it was either D-Bol or Turinabol. Both of those guys, both of those orals, always. Well, I get the best results from. Now, I've tried Anadrol, and I tried Anavar, and I tried Winstrol tabs, and, I've tried them all. But, that's the thing when it comes to these things. So, you have to figure out what works for you. Sometimes these things don't work well for you. People love Anadrol. They're like, "Oh, I love Jason On said he used to love Anadrol." I had another friend who used to love Anadrol. They said that, I would not. I would never use Anadrol too much because I didn't get great results from it, man. I just never got great. I got better results from D-Bol, so I would use D-Bol, and I didn't get great results from Winstrol tabs. So I would use Turinabol, And Xavier, thank you for saving the day, dude.
What's up, John? How you been, man?
And I appreciate it, brother. I really, really do, man.
No worries at all. I just jumped on and then I saw Lee was having connection issues, and we had a few connection issues yesterday, so I thought I'd jump in.
Listen, I want to tell you, man, you guys look really happy, you and your girl and whatnot.
Thank you so much, bro. Yeah. I actually just got back from a nearly 2-week holiday, and I actually drove up past Lee Priest. I went through Newcastle where Lee lives, and he was offended, but I didn't stop in and see him. But we were strapped for time, so literally went through there, and we stopped at the KFC there as well, the Kentucky Fried Chicken. And he's like, "You could have told me you stopped at KFC." I said, "It wasn't planned. It wasn't planned." Yeah. But yeah, no, it's good, man. Like I've finally got a good girl, so.
You know what, man? It really it hits home for me because I see so many guys. I don't know how it is in Australia. I'm assuming it's similar to the United States. It might be even worse. But I see so many guys that go through hell when they either get a divorce or break up with their girls or so on and so forth. And as a matter of fact, Friday night I worked late. I worked overtime. I worked till 7, and I was working with a friend of mine. And he's such a good dude. He would never hurt a fly. That's how good of a dude he is, okay? And, of course, he got married, and he had 2 kids, and then his wife was messing around and wanted a divorce and so on and so forth. And so he is like, his head is spinning and so on and so forth. And he's telling me, and he's like, this is how good of a guy he is. He says to me, I don't like my wife anymore. I don't know if, I think I should go to therapy because I really dislike her greatly. She wants me to come to lunches and dinners when the kids have like school plays afterwards, but I don't want to go. And I'm like, dude, that's not you. Like, that's natural. I would hate my wife too if she did that to me. I'm like,
yeah.
You would need therapy if you wanted to go and you still liked her. I mean, seriously, I'm like, when he's such. So when I see guys like you that went through hell and now you got yourself a good girl, I'm very glad and happy for you because it's really way too common. Anyway,
it is, bro. You see so much of it, so yeah, it's finally nice to have a good girl that's like, and it's weird too because those like traumas from your past, you're sort of not used to someone doing stuff for you. Like she was like, "No, I'll get you food. Like I'll get you this," and I'm like, "It's okay. I'll just sit down, I guess." Like it's weird.
She's Asian or she's.
She's Nepalese. So it's sort of like it's sort of between India and China, So it's like you get a sort of that cross between the Indian and Chinese look a little bit, in a way.
They seem to be the only women that are brought up traditional anymore.
Yeah, and she's brilliant.
And Xavier, here's the funny part. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 out of the 4 guys still work with me. The other 2, one guy got transferred, one guy retired. 2 out of these 4 guys had gotten divorced from American women. All of them married Filipino girls and are happy as a pig and shit.
So much. It's a so much smarter move.
It's just like night and day. And I knock on wood, I like to say I got lucky, but I knew what I was looking for when I was dating to get married. But I see it far. It's just the sense of entitlement in American girls and Western girls. It just blows me away. So
I dated a few South American girls as well, and I'm like, okay, there are obviously nice girls in every culture, all that sort of stuff, or girls that you could vibe with, but it's definitely it can be more difficult, you know what I mean? Like,
what's funny is like sometimes you just got to learn the hard way, when you're young, you just want the hot girl. You're like, oh, I want the hot girl. And then you realize that hot girl brings problems.
A lot of problems. Yeah, a lot of problems.
Yeah. And then that's why when your parents are like, I don't think this is the right girl, because they know, they went through it, they understand, they get it, and you're like, no, and then you learn the fucking hard way, dude. But I'm just glad that you're doing well and you got yourself a good girl. Anyway,
thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
John, so you're saying they're race traders, despicable. I don't know what the hell that means, JT, but okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I would gladly be a race trader if a Filipino girl treats me right. No problem.
Yeah, 100%.
What? So there's this nonsense going on in the comment section. I don't know what's going on. Maybe you know something happened with Boston Lloyd and Jerry Ward. They're saying that they cooperated with the feds. Do you know this story?
I saw a little bit on RX Muscle about it. I mean, I don't know too much about it either. Like, I didn't go too deep into it. I didn't bother looking into it. I didn't bother reporting on it too, because it seems someone went on there and was talking a bit about it and saying essentially like they were like informants or something, or there's something like that. But the other thing is, someone said no, it was just basically, you know, they came to Boston's house at some stage or something. I don't know if it's the feds or who it was, and Boston was, I don't know if Dave said this or if said on another channel, it's pretty much just whatever Boston just said to him there, and I don't think he was like giving people up or whatever. He's just like, I think Boston was naive to how much trouble he could get into it too, maybe with like what he was doing, like just in terms of, you know, obviously he's very open about, you know, getting stuff sent to his house or sending people stuff and things like that. He's probably just saying that, oh yeah, I sent this dude this, like, it doesn't matter, like it's sort of fine, because he seemed impervious to the things
cooperating about what, because it's like when you think cooperating, this is what I think some kind of organized crime, then you are giving up the person that's above you, if that makes sense. You know, like, so if Boston Lloyd was getting all these anabolics, he's giving up the person that he was getting it from. But I don't see that with steroids much. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that was the case anyway.
Yeah,
so I'd like to know.
I don't want. That's why I don't want to say like, oh yeah, they were cooperating or whatever.
Yeah, I'd have to look into it. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. You know, it doesn't. Cooperating about what with, you know, in bodybuilding, like who you giving up? It doesn't make sense. I gotta look into it. I apologize to the audience for not knowing. I try to stay on top of especially the gossip stuff, but I did not stay on top of this. But it just doesn't make sense. See, on my other channel, you know my other channel, right? I interview plenty of mob guys, and I've interviewed biker guys, and they're like plenty of informants and cooperators and so on and so forth. And that, you know, that's, you know, because they're looking at, you know, 20, 30 years to life, and it's like, like, fuck this, you know, whatever, you know. But for the most part, let me see. Do I have something going on here? Let me get rid of this shit, man. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so I gotta look into it more, and I'll find out what the hell's going on. But anyway, so other than that, I don't know you've competed, but the topic for today was the biggest steroid cycle we've ever done. I don't know if you want to talk about if you've ever done any, or I don't know if you were always natural. I don't know. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
I won't talk about anything I've done apart from, like, I have been prescribed testosterone before, like actually when I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
I've competed a fair few times. I've done like how many shows? Competed in a lot of natural federations in my early years, and then competed in the IFBB.
Yeah.
Well, we call it the IFBB here, but it's, you know, the NPC worldwide now. So I've done a fair bit of that. So I nearly got my pro card in the men's physique because they only give one away. It was two. They gave away, used to give one away a year in Australia, and then it was two. So you'd have your March shows, which was like the Arnold Classic Australia, and then you'd have the end of year, which is like the Nationals here in Australia. And I got second of the guy who got his pro card in the overall. So I was close. I was close to getting that pro card, but
cool.
Unfortunately not. So I'd like to come back and do it again and just try to get my pro card, and whether I do anything with it or not, I don't know. But it would be fun to just at least have like something to try to get to and achieve and stuff, because when you're someone who gets in shape really quick, it's not that, you know, you can do a 10-week prep or whatever and be shredded. It's like, well, it's not that hard. You know, you got guys like Roman Fritz in the open pro ranks where it's like he's basically in contest shape all the time, so he can compete as long as his body can take it.
Who was the guy that like walked around shredded with shredded glutes all the time? He retired. Oh God, only a couple of years ago. He was not as big as the rest of the guys.
That's probably Roman Fritz. Roman Fritz.
No. He was black guy. He was American. You know who I'm talking
Dexter?
about? No. Everybody knows Dexter. He wasn't as big as the rest of the guys, but he literally would walk around with shredded glutes.
Michael Lockett.
Yes. God,
yes,
Michael Lockett. I don't know why he retired. I don't know what happened to him. He had a tremendous physique. I don't know what the deal was, but yeah, he used to walk around like, in constant shape all the time. I always hated guys like that because I always had to kill myself to get in shape for a show.
Yeah, I did early years. Early years would be 16-week preps, and I wouldn't get as in good condition as I get in nowadays doing 16-week preps. So now I do like the last comp I did. The last comp I did was disappointing because I only did 9 weeks, and there was another 4 weeks until the Arnold Classic Australia. But that's when the whole COVID thing started happening. So it was like I decided to pull out of it because it was like 50-50 if it would happen. So I'm like, nah, I'm not about that. But yeah, it's the short preps for whatever reason. I just go all in and go hard, and then it seems to work better for me for whatever reason. I think I just get burnt out, to be honest. I think I'm one of those people that will push myself too far to the point where I start to lose my physique a bit, like I'll start to maybe flatten or just my body gets overstressed and then it starts to fight back a bit. So I think some people need to just, push hard, short period, maybe have a little 1 week off or half a week where you pull back your training a bit and then go a little bit harder. And that's about all my body can take before it shits itself.
Yeah, no, I fully get you, man. As far as me competing in either bodybuilding or classic physique, the last time I competed was 2014. They didn't come out with classic physique, I think, until a year or two later. So it was only bodybuilding, men's physique. As far as me competing again, Xavier Wills has the same chance of winning lotto twice in the same week.
I tried to win the other week, man. We had $100 million lottery. I tried to get in on it. So
there. Jesus Christ will come off the cross before I do that again. I will never get back. First of all, number one, I'm 49, and I don't want to put my body under that kind of pressure. I don't want to take all the gear like I used to take. Not that I still take test and growth, but the amount of gear that I took in 2014 to do my last show, and then I went to go see 2 other coaches, and they told me I wasn't taking enough, and they want them to jump on insulin, and I was like, okay, I don't think so, dude. Right. And then it was I like knowing that if I want to go eat a donut, I can go eat a goddamn donut. I don't like. Yeah. I did 4 shows. I did 4 amateur shows, NPC shows, and that's plenty. I'm not doing that shit. I get my bodybuilding void filled through this channel, talking to guys like yourself and talking about bodybuilding, because I don't know. I was never the kind of guy that could just get in shape, and and the truth of the matter was, I remember I won 3 Masters overalls, right?
Nice.
In NPC, right? I won 1 Open, and then I came in 2nd in 2 other shows, and then I came in 5th in another show in Open. But I won 3 Masters overalls, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a national level show. I'll either do the Masters Nationals or I'll do Team Universe, whatever. So I've told the story a million times, but I go see this was one of the several reasons why I stopped. But I just said this before when I was talking, when Lee froze up. I said I went to the Team Universe where John Meadows turned pro. And I don't remember what year it was. And I remember looking at him on stage, and I was like, I'm never going to look like that. I don't care. Who am I kidding? I'm never going to look like that. And then that was like the final. I was like, okay, we're done here. This is it. Between me not wanting to do more gear, having to spend all the money, and then actually looking at what a pro really looks like up close and personal, I was like, nah, we're done here. Let's not. Sometimes, people say, "Oh, keep chasing your dream." Sometimes you got to be real with yourself, and you got to say, "I'm wasting my time here. I'm wasting money, time." Plus, at that point, I had a job. I was married. I had a house. It was completely different.
Yeah. Sometimes when you see the delusional bodybuilder, like there are guys that I know there's certain people say, oh, you shouldn't compete after a certain age, but sometimes it's like it gives people, purpose, I guess, sometimes, like, the competing side of thing, even when you're a bit older, like in your 50s and stuff, like, I don't mind it because while it might be somewhat unhealthy, like, depending how you're doing it, what you're doing, but if you're doing a mil of test and a mil of EQ and a little bit of masteron or something like that, and in small amounts and a little bit of growth, it's like, it might not be the most healthy thing, but it's probably better than just smashing beers every day when you get
Oh
home
yeah,
from work in the garage and then getting
absolutely.
fat and all that sort of stuff. So
Yeah. To
it's
me,
it's yeah.
yeah. To me, it just seems like at that point, it's like, do you ever see the fighter, the boxer that just stays in there way too long?
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah.
got knocked. He used to be a tremendous fighter, and he's got knocked out way too many times at this point. And it's like, when are you gonna stop? When are you gonna pack it in?
Mm.
And that's how I look at guys in their 40s, or even girls in their 40s, 50s, and even older, that are still either chasing the pro card or competing in a master's circuit or competing in a or in the open and getting crushed, and
Mm.
it's like the best days are behind you. You're spending way too much money. You kind of look foolish. If you could transition that energy into something else, and the perfect example I can always give is Jason Arns. Arns I forgot the last show he did was, I don't know if it was 13 or 14, and he knew it was over. He knew, he said it. He goes, I knew I was done. It did not look good. I was past my peak. And he transitioned himself from that, from being a bodybuilder to being a supplement owner and what do you call it? Owner and distributor.
Yep.
And he puts his energy into that, and he's creating wealth, and he has a beautiful family now, and he has a beautiful home. And there's a lot of times I think if you could transition that discipline and that motivation that it really takes to be a bodybuilder, if you could transition that into something else. Another great example of that is Jay Cutler. I mean, the guy's a self-made millionaire, right? I mean, just, instead of just hanging on too soon and being a shell of what you used to. Like, I remember watching Evander Holyfield's last fight, and I'm like, oh God, dude, please stop fighting.
Yeah.
It's
That point, doesn't it? Especially when someone's been so high up. I don't think if it was me, like, I would struggle. If I just say, in a dream world, I was an open pro and just say I was placing top 5 in pro shows, it would be very hard to step back and your physique to regress dramatically and still want to compete because, like, for me, I feel like I can still be better than I've been before.
Yeah.
So it's a bit different, and I'm 35. I mean, I'm getting to that age where I'm like, I start to think about it. I'm like, I've only got so many more years left. So if I want to have a run at this and try to get a pro card and actually do anything, then I've got to make this in the next 3 years or so or whatever. But then after that, if I ever competed, it would be, on a low level, and it'd be more just a personal challenge. And I wouldn't be someone, I think I've got a level enough head to not push myself too hard or do anything silly or take away from other aspects of my life or to ruin my relationship or anything like that. So I think it depends on the person too, because there are people that will sacrifice their personal relationships, they'll sacrifice their finances, they'll sacrifice their kids, all that sort of stuff just to compete in a show where they're going to get 6th place in an amateur show. It's like, then you've got to really look at yourself and go, okay, what am I doing?
Yeah. No,
is this really making me happy? Am I excelling in life because of this? It's like, probably not. Like, if it's for me, it's for a personal reason. It's because it's a personal challenge or whatever. Like, when I competed in men's physique, it was because I wanted to win the 50K from Redcon 1. Like, I literally was okay, like, I just got my partner pregnant at the time, and I was like, okay, cool. I think I can do this 10-week challenge and try to win 50K US. I'm like, that'd be a worthwhile thing to do. And people just started asking, are you competing? And I was like, well, there are some comps coming up. And I was like, I'm like, it's a short period of time, but my body responded well. And I think because I didn't have that pressure as well of like, it's a contest, 16-week prep. It was just 10 weeks. I could lock in, lined up nearly perfectly with some comps. And I was like, cool, let's do it. and it worked out well. I won it overall and then got second to getting my pro card. And I was like, oh, cool. I actually enjoy this, but it's not because I love men's physique. I just love it for the challenge, challenging myself to get in my best shape and stuff, and I didn't, very moderate with everything I do, so it's, I think that's a fun thing to do, but I suppose you don't really know who's taking what and stuff like that. But you can sort of see it. You can see the guys that have the stressed out red faces and stuff on stage when their blood pressure's through the roof,
I could have, if men's classic was around when I was competing, I probably would have had a better shot of getting a pro card doing men's classic physique. If you see the picture that I put up when every week when I do Anabolic Academy, I put it up on my Instagram. I clearly have. I'm sorry.
You got a good physique, man.
Yeah, I clearly have more of a classic physique.
Yeah.
And then I would go on stage, and this would happen every time, right? There would be some guy I would be a light heavyweight, and I would weigh in somewhere in the 180s. And in the States, I'm sure it might be the same in Australia. The light heavyweights go up to 198, and I'd be somewhere in the 180s. And some guy an inch shorter than me, who was like 198 on the button and shredded, and I'm like, fuck, and it just was a beast,
Yeah. Yeah, for me it was the same, man. Like, cause I have that more classic physique, small joints and things like that. That it was always. It's funny, like being in a bodybuilding contest backstage, like in my like comeback show when I did classic, when I hadn't competed in I don't know how many years. It was quite a long time, and I was competing it was the year before it became the Arnold Classic Australia. So it used to be called FitX, and it was a huge fitness expo, and they had the national bodybuilding contest in Australia held there as well. And I did that, and this is before Classic Physique started. I think the year before Classic Physique started as well. So we had Classic Bodybuilding. So it's sort of the same thing, slightly different weight cap, but same thing. And I did that, and I remember being backstage and be like, that guy's bigger than me. That guy's more shredded. That guy's this. And then I actually ended up winning it out of 13 guys, or 14 guys or whatever. But it's so funny how it can mess with your head so much, because I'm like, like I was the best maybe combination of those things and posed well and stuff like that. But I'm like, that guy's more shredded. There's one guy standing backstage, like when we got to the top three, it was actually two guys I'm friends with. So it was awesome. Like us three were talking backstage, and then we ended up being in the top three. But like, this is super cool. But he was standing backstage even, and he's standing there relaxed, and he had shredded glutes. Like you could see the lines through his glutes. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, he's going to win. And I think maybe the other guy thought it too, because we just saw the level of shredded backstage. But it's funny, man, when you can psych yourself out a lot. I think some guys that do comps, like even pro guys do this, where they'll do a show and we can see as fans, like they might place 5th or 6th or whatever. We're like, they're not that far off. They just need a little bit more size or a little bit more condition. But in their head, they're like, I put all of myself into this prep, and I'm still 5th or 6th. And then they get unmotivated, and they just don't compete again. Or they just have 2 years off or whatever. And it's like,
it kills their motivation. Yeah, sure. It kills their desire, kills their motivation. Carlos Thomas Jr. is going through that right now.
Yeah, because at that same comp, dude, they did the first call out, and they called out 7 guys in the first call out, and they didn't call me out. So they actually made a mistake. And I saw one of the guys they called forward, and I'm like, is that guy beating me? I'm like, shit. I'm like, wow. And I remember just looking down at myself, and all my self-confidence went. Like, I was I was just put my hands on my hips. I'm like, this is embarrassing. First of all, I was like, I'm actually embarrassed. And then I remember I looked down at myself. I'm like, am I fat? I'm like, am I actually fat? And then I see the judges pointing at one guy and pointing at me. And I'm like, when they pulled me in there, I was like, I was just happy I was in the top 7. Literally, and then I ended up winning it, which is great. But there's no pro cards awarded.
I came 5th in the Open in the Brooklyn Grand Prix in 2014, and I was fucking fuming. Like I was like the worst I ever did before that was 2nd in the Open, and I came in 5th, and I'm like 5th, and I truly believed I got fucking robbed. I was like, I should have been at least 2nd or 3rd, but whatever, it is what it is. Now, did you ever have the opposite happen? Did you ever go backstage and you see somebody and you go, what the fuck is this guy thinking? He's just fat and his stomach is hanging over his fucking posing shorts. And you go, what the fuck is going on here?
I have had that a few times, but it was more like, I remember seeing there's one guy, and no offense to him, he was in decent shape, but just the lack of muscle was apparent. And just he was much older as well. He was super vascular, but just very little muscle. And he's actually the guy that got called out ahead of me, and I was like,
oh Jesus Christ,
fuck. And it just makes you think like I'm worse than this guy, and that sounds harsh or whatever, but I was like, shit, like it was bad.
Yeah, I remember
I've had comps where I thought I was going to win before too, and I didn't win. So I think, you know, after I had that experience where I won, you get that more confidence about yourself. And I'm like, I was backstage at another show, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to win this. And I think it was close, but I got second, and I was like internally, I was like, shit. Like, I'm never that bummed out after a comp, but after that one, I was like, thought I was going to win that one, you know?
Yeah, I remember it took me a couple of days to get out. I mean, what was funny is I won the Masters overall, but I came in 5th in the Open, and it's just fucking, I was fuming. But yeah. I remember, I think it was I forgot what show it was. I want to say it might have been Muscle Beach, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And there was this kid, and he was like a middleweight, and he was fat, and he had a stomach, and it was like hanging over his posing shorts. And, you know, there was only 6 bodybuilders, and he came in 6th. And I went over to talk to him, and I was like, you know, just out of curiosity, like, what's going on with this guy? And I was like, so what place do you think you're coming in? And he looks at me, and you could tell immediately as soon as he started talking, there's like, this guy's fucked in the head. Like, yeah, it was some kind of special needs dude. Yeah. And I think I'm in 6th. And I'm like, oh, this guy's fucking whacked. No wonder he's on stage.
Dude, have you ever had the people show up? I remember a guy showed up, state show down here in Tasmania. He showed up and he had hair on from his like knees down. He didn't bother shaving from his knees down. And then he had hair on his forearms and stuff as well, underarm hair. And then he was white as well. And he had a tub of Dream Tan, which is what is pretty commonly used in Australia. Well, used to be commonly used in Australia. Yeah. And he goes, do you know how to put this on? And I'm like, dude, you go on stage in an hour and a half. You don't know anything about the tan. You got hair. Yeah. And I remember, like, I actually put some on for him. I'm like, this guy's not 100% there. It's like he just decided. It's like he saw a poster in the gym the week before and goes,
well, I could do that. Yeah.
Wasn't in horrible shape. Had a bit of muscle. Like, didn't have a bad physique. But when you're just shoving Dream Tan on backstage, you have no base tan, and then you got hair on your arms and legs. Because I remember I helped him put a bit of it on because it was like last minute. I was like, I better help this dude. And we were putting it on. I remember rubbing it onto his arms, and just it's sitting all over the hair. It just looked fucking horrible, man. I was like, oh, dude. What can I do about this? But yeah, there wasn't much you could do.
You just tell them good luck, and that's it. What about this? This happens with both guys and girls, but I've seen it mostly with girls. Like the competitor that lost like 150 pounds. And they just want to go on stage, and there's nothing. They look like a melted candle. They're just nothing but hanging skin. And you're like, oh, God, who told you to do this?
Yeah, I would do a photo shoot or something where you can, you know, like I would do something like that, like a transformation in a photo shoot. They do a lot of that. I don't know if they do it in America, but a lot of coaches now, it seems like a big thing in Western Australia where I used to live. They have coaches where they'll do like 10-week like prep sort of things or transformations, and especially with women they do it a lot, and they'll do these big photo shoots with like 12 girls, and I suppose they pay a photographer. I'm like, that's pretty smart. Like, you know, if you want to, you know, and the girls, you know, wear like sexy sort of stuff, and some girls are in shape, some girls maybe still not in shape, but they've generally lost, you know, 8 kilos or 10 kilos or whatever. That's a like, I would encourage someone to do that more so if they've still got hanging skin and stuff like that. Because it's just like, you don't want to embarrass yourself. You don't want to be the one on stage where it's like, oh, well done, you lost a lot of weight. You want to be like, oh, I actually looked good, you know, when you're on stage.
Oh, you know what? I've noticed that it's mostly girls that happens to. I've seen a guy or two, but in almost every NPC show, I've seen girls that have lost a lot of weight, and they're like, oh, I can't do bikini. I'm going to do figure because I have, you know, too much muscle for bikini. And it's like,
too much muscle, or you just like bulk too hard.
Yeah. And then I can't deny that girl's, because, okay, if you got a good, if you and me are friends, right? And you lost 100 pounds, 150 pounds, and you got a lot of hanging skin and stuff, and you're like, I think I want to do a bodybuilding show. I'd be like, bro, Xavier, come on, man. Just
Yeah.
stop kidding yourself. You lost a lot of weight, but you can't go on stage. Okay, you got skin everywhere. It's ridiculous. It's like maybe after you get rid of the skin, right? But girls go, oh, you go, girl, get on that stage and show them what you got.
Body proud, bro. Body proud.
Yeah, and then it's like they go there and they're clapping for them, and it's like, are you doing this just to sabotage them? Jesus Christ, man!
There's actually Goob put up one the other day about a girl that's going to compete, and then her coach, like, it's getting a lot of views and a lot of comments and stuff, and a lot of negative comments. And Goob actually sort of gave his opinion. He's like, well, if you're a coach and he's paying you to like lose all this weight, why would you say to put her on stage? Because she's obviously going to cop a lot of criticism and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, it's probably not best for that person's self-esteem, because the online comments are going to be pretty savage. Like, they're going to be pretty out there.
There are times I go on Instagram and I see. And first of all, have you noticed that? Since Elon bought Twitter, and now it's X, and Donald Trump has become president of the United States, that there's a lot more fucking shit on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook that you could not put on before. I mean, my God, like, so, and that goes for the comments. Like, some of the comments are fucking brutal. Like,
savagery on Instagram nowadays.
And I'm like, wow, Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, like, there was this one video I watched, and it was, I can't even believe that that they get away with it now, right? But technically, I guess it's freedom of speech. There was this one video where I don't remember the video, but it was in the States, and this black guy tried to rob a store. And the owner of the store shot him, something to that effect, right?
Yeah.
And I go into the comments, and somebody wrote, and I'm not going to say it, I'll spell it, NILLKIGGERS. And I was like, whoa, like, wow. I could not fucking believe that. And it just, you can just like pretty much say what you want now, and I'm like, I get I get the freedom of speech thing, man, but you kind of crossed the line a little bit.
It's funny for freedom of speech thing, because obviously there's levels, and it's like you have to at some stage, like, you can't obviously, like, because they're like, okay, well, like, you can't say things about, like, terrorism, certain things. There's certain things where there is a line, but the line is always going to be blurred. It's like in any sport. It's like, oh, okay, is that a free kick for this, or a free, a penalty or whatever for this? It's like, where's the line of how aggressive this tackle is, or whatever it is?
Right.
And if they make the line further this way, there's still going to be debate wherever the line is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's there's no perfect solution to the censorship thing, because before, I think everyone agrees, it was too censored. It was like,
yes, it was.
You say one thing about something, debating something, and you shut
you couldn't even say the word COVID on YouTube 5 years ago.
I know, yeah, because I remember I said it, and it was orange, basically demonetized. They'd say, oh, it may see less ads than normal. It's like, well, my video made $0, so you obviously took all the ads off without saying it. So
yeah, it was unbelievable. But now it's like, as far as I'm concerned, man, like, I get nasty comments all the time, especially on my workout videos and stuff. And some of them are actually really funny. Just ignore it, move on.
Yeah, I could care less now. Like, it was so funny. It used to affect me. Like, it would still get into your brain. You read too much of it. Like, especially if people hit on little, like, sore points or whatever. Like, because you never know how you come across to people, like, through your YouTube channel. So you think you come across as one way, and then someone goes, you're the most boring motherfucker I've ever heard before. Like, oh my God, the way you speak, the way you can't pronounce this, you can't do that. And you start to read enough of that, and you start to really, like, doubt yourself a bit. And then you just talk to someone else who's actually, like, sane-minded. Be like, no, dude, you're really good. Yeah, maybe you do this or whatever a little bit. And then you can take it as constructive. But when someone just attacks, dude, I had people say, you should basically end your life because your content sucks so much. I'm like, geez. I'm like, then I just figure out who's actually writing it. Who's writing that shit. And I'm like, what are they doing? I'm like, I'm sure they're just jacking off 20 times a day.
Yeah, and smoking weed and doing not just hate and stuff.
Yeah.
What's funny is that I started doing these videos. I don't know if you saw them, but I started doing these videos where they're just like in the gym videos of me training, and then like doing like a little bit of a tutorial, what I do and whatnot. And the last one I did a back one. I don't remember the guy's name who put the comment, but somebody wrote. So I did a whole back workout and everything, and one guy wrote, "How long does it take to get a back like that? 2 or 3 days?" And
this is just savaging you. Just it's like, thanks, bro. I've been training for how many years, but
just like, all right. Oh,
it's hard too. It's hard with training videos too, because like so many people are used to watching like Derek Lunsford, Nick Walker, all these guys, and then it's like, because I see myself like when I've done training videos in the past, I look at them now and I'm like, oh geez, I look pretty decent. Yeah. But back then I was, because the people I talk to on podcasts and all that sort of stuff, it's like that direct comparison. Like I would never be at an open pro bodybuilder level.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's never going to happen for me, because I'm never going to push it to that level. Plus I don't have the genetics to grow that amount of muscle. Right. But I think, you know, we have a warped sense of what we should look like, and so do the people that are watching as well. You know? Yeah. So
I think a lot of people, when it comes to guys like us, because we see this with a lot of social media guys that do training videos. I think people like guys like us, generally speaking, is because we just look more attainable,
relatable. Yeah.
You know, I think that's why there's such an appeal to physique, men's physique, and classic physique. So I think the same thing applies when you see guys like you and me, or I'm trying to think of whoever else is in the gym training, because, you know, you watch Samson Dowda work out and you go, Jesus Christ, I ain't never going to look like that, right? Yeah. But when you see me, you go, oh, okay, maybe, you know, that's a possibility. Maybe if I do what this guy does, you know, maybe I can look like that, or whatever the case may be, you know. So I think there is a niche market for that, to be honest with you. You know,
you Jeff Nippard, like, think of him as a perfect example. You know, like he's a natural guy that has a good physique, and people go, oh, he's not natural. I'm like, I don't know, dude. He looks like he's got a good natural physique to me. That's what it looks like. He's got a very good natural physique, and he doesn't have that. Like, I think people that are on stuff or have taken stuff, they realize, you know, you think about what the top pros in the world now, if they stayed natural, what they'd look like. They'd still have jacked, good physiques, you know, a lot of them. Nothing like they do now, but they'd still be pretty damn good, because the genetics on some of those guys, like, I know what some of these guys do, like, pretty factually as well. And some of them would surprise you how little they take, and some would surprise you how much they take. It's such a level. Like, some guys might be on total of, you know, 1,200 milligrams of gear or 1,000 milligrams of gear, but others are on 5,000. It's like there's levels to this shit, and the one who's on less might actually look better. I heard, you know, Flex Lewis didn't use much back in the day. Like, you know, it's been said on Fuad Abiad's podcast that Samson's using very moderate amounts at the moment. And it's
I've heard that too. Yeah.
And that's fact, man. Like, Samson doesn't need to get bigger, but his body just wants to grow. And it's so funny how people, this is a bit off topic, but how people say Samson should stop focusing on size and stuff. I'm like, what do you want him to do in his off season then? Like, because he's pulling things back, he's doing things very moderately, he's not eating a crazy amount. His body just wants to grow. It's like It's very funny, because it's like his body hit this point where it's like, I feel like he has a myostatin deficiency, because to reduce your gear by tons and still to grow at a similar rate when you're already so big, I feel like he's got a myostatin deficiency or something.
I wouldn't be surprised, because you're right. And what's funny is that how can I say this? He almost made me a little bit delusional, because I was like, I would watch him and I saw how much size he put on in the short period of time. And then I would look at Andrew Jack and I go, well, when is Andrew Jack going to do it? Come on. Well, you know, Samson Dowda did it. You could do it. And it's like, no, not everybody can do it. Not even close.
Yeah, it's funny. We get to a point where we're so much less muscular than them, and like we struggle to put on muscle at a certain stage, and we're just like these huge guys. We're like, oh, they can do it.
Absolutely. But speaking of videos, right, that you watch them, and then I'll let you go after this. Do you watch any videos on YouTube or whatever that get you motivated to hit the gym?
You know what? I probably should. I don't really. Like. I'll watch. I more watch videos to see what's being said in them and things like that of the pro bodybuilders. But I actually do want to watch some motivational videos. I used to watch one back in the day, like in my teenage years. It was the Jay Cutler one, and it had that song by Stained, is it, or whatever band that is.
Yeah.
And, I watched that video of Jay Cutler, like, you know, he's just walking on the treadmill and stuff. And it's when he was in his sort of years of coming up to win the Olympia, and he wasn't Mr. Olympia yet. And his videos seemed to be, his personality seems so, not, I'm trying to think of what it was, like the underdog personality. He seemed always quite down a little bit and very much like head in the trenches sort of thing. And I remember watching those ones, and I would watch them over and over and over. And then I remember some started to come out about Kai Green and stuff like that. I used to watch all of those, but I don't really, man. Like, I don't really watch them, but I probably should, because I feel like it would rekindle that like love of when you first get into training. Like it's like training with like a young guy that's really motivated. It's like it pushes you, because you realize that love they have for bodybuilding and training and just gaining that bit of muscle, and they'll do everything to gain that bit of muscle. So I do miss that, but I do have just a love for just being in the gym now. Like I was away for, like I said, for about 13 days. I trained one day while I was away, but I came back and trained last night, and I was like, yeah, I love this. Like, it's good when you get a bit of distance and then you get back in the gym. It's like, yeah, I love this.
Absolutely. When I'm on vacation, I don't do shit. I don't do shit. Like, I'm going away for like 6 days in June, the end of June with my wife, and people are like, oh, do you go to the gym? Like, I don't do fucking shit. I mean, I don't. I sit on the fucking beach or by the pool, and I drink margaritas. And that's what I do. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, I drank on my holiday and smoked weed and all that. it was good fun.
I just look at the girls in the bikinis walking by. I'm good. I'm good. But what's funny is I still watch the same 3 videos. I haven't done it in a while, but there were times where I'm like dragging ass, or I had a bad day at work, or I really don't want to hit the gym. Or sometimes I'm just feeling really good, like the pre-workout kicked in while I'm driving to the gym, and I'm like, yeah, let me pull up one of these videos. And I swear to God, dude, these are the same. It's the same 3 videos that I used to look at forever, from 10 years ago, from 15 years ago. And the first one, of course, is anything with Branch Warren and Johnny Jackson, right?
Yeah, that was cool back in the day.
Any of those 2 fucking lunatics. And, you know, the other one was, do you remember when C.T. Fletcher like first blew up, and he did that video with I forgot his name. They call him the Hulk. And it was
didn't he pass away, that guy?
Oh, maybe. Oh, you might be right. I don't know.
Big, huge dude.
Huge.
Like just
yeah.
Was he European or no?
No, he was American.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking of a different dude. Never mind.
Yeah. I hope he didn't. I didn't hear of it, but I hope he didn't pass away. And it was C.T. Fletcher, and it was Superman versus the Hulk. And it was when the guy would do 4 plates, bench 4 plates with a pause at the bottom, and he was doing that, and CT Fletcher was like talking his shit, and I don't know, and it was like, it's so motivational, because the guy's like because he would go Hulk smash, and that's when he would do the rep. Like, he would hold it down there on his chest, 4 plates, and he would go Hulk smash, and then he would do the rep. Right. And it was just, and it's got this crazy music. And then this is so corny, but I'll tell you, because I don't fucking pull any punches on this show. The other video I watched that gets me excited to go to the gym is there's this scene in Rocky 3 where Rocky fights Hulk Hogan. I don't know.
You watched that scene to get motivated?
I thought
it was going to be the montage.
No, I swear to God. It's Stallone has to fight fucking Thunder Lips. That's what his name is in the.
That's right. Yep.
And it's for charity, right? And it's just such like, and like Stallone has no idea what he's getting into, and then Thunder Lips is giving him a fucking beating. Oh, and it's just like, it's fucking great. Oh, it's just, and the editing and everything, and it just, you know, because it reminds me of when I was a kid, like, you know, when it came out, my brother took me to see it. I was like, I don't even know, 5 years old, whatever, and it was just like, you know, I was Italian. I grew up in an Italian neighborhood, and, you know, Stallone was Italian. He was supposed to be Rocky Balboa, the Italian stallion. So it was like, you know, crazy. But And that's it. Other than that, man, it's just a good pre-workout, especially if I'm dragging ass. You know, you got to think. I'm working from 7 to 3, and my job is physical. I work in the sewer, and then I got to go to the gym straight after that, and then I come home at night and I do these fucking things, either on this channel or the other channel, right? And so it's just constant. Today I actually played hooky, and I didn't go to work today. But
You played what?
I played hooky. It's a term where you call in sick to work. You go, I don't feel good. I'm not coming in today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy said you played hockey. I'm like, you play hockey?
I don't know. American term. You say you played hooky. I don't know where it comes from, but
we call it a sickie. Chucking a sickie.
Oh, okay. That's what you call it over there. Same shit. Because so it's basically, there's really not much that you could do about it because you get plenty of vacation time and sick time. So and if you take a sick day, there's really not, you don't want to make a habit out of it, obviously, but as long as you have the time, there's really not much they could do about it, So
yeah, exactly.
I was like, all right. And the truth of the matter was, it wasn't like it was because we were getting we were getting deliveries of a new dryer and a new fucking all different stuff for the kitchen and the fucking basement. We're redoing the cabinets. It was just, I was like, let me take the day off and just fucking finish this shit,
Fair.
And that's about it. But listen, Xavier, man, I really appreciate you coming on. You saved the day.
No, it's been good, man. It's been good. Like, I know the pain of like having your own YouTube channel, and if people drop out or if someone's internet connection doesn't work, especially if you're doing a live, dude. So, I felt your pain. As I jumped on, and then I saw Lee having the connection issues, and I thought I better see if you need some assistance. So you don't
I
have to go
appreciate
solo.
it. I tell you though, Lee is a great guy, man. Like
He's awesome.
He might be a little fucked in the head, but when Lee considers you a friend, he's really your friend. Like he's always. It's just,
dude. One thing he did, like when I went up to Newcastle, like I went to pay for stuff, and it's like no, like he didn't let me pay for shit. And next time I was like, well, next time I'm coming up and pay. But he's just very generous, very loyal, very easy to get on with. And like obviously online has a bit of a he'll push things a bit more and have a bit of fun and stuff like that on videos. But yeah, he's a very good dude. And because while he might have some inappropriate jokes and stuff, it's he's a good person.
Only good fun. Because you think about it, like I don't have a big following on YouTube yet, right? I mean, but he could go on any show he wants. He can go on yours, he can go on RX, he can go on Hostel, he can go on Dennis James, he can go on any Cutler, any one of them. But he's on my show every week without fail. And it's like,
which is awesome.
And it means a lot to me because he's Lee Priest. But once he considers you a friend, it's almost like you can't get rid of him.
Which is awesome. I love it.
That's it. Xavier, thanks a lot, brother. I really appreciate you doing this, man.
Also, shout out to people's even comments. John Mancini as well, always like sending tons of comments. And there's a few other ones. There was, is it Kiali? I don't know if that's it. Hello from Hawaii boys and stuff. And they were mentioning the Milos revealed stuff too, which I found very. I might have smiled while he was talking because I looked at the comments and I saw people saying about the revealed.
I didn't see it. But John Mancini is great, man. He is really a really good
100%
supportive follower of me, man. At this point, I just consider him a friend. So I truly appreciate him coming on. Anyway, all right, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Been good, man. Talk soon.
All right.